Hi folks, welcome back to the Everyday Agile YouTube channel with me, Jack Hughes. Now I want to try and up my video content. I want to try and film a bit more of it in an intimate environment. Normally I go out and record stuff and the fantastic and talented people then send it to me. But I want to up my editing game. I want to provide more consistent content. I want to try new things on my own. So if you like it, please do let me know. If you don't, also let me know. I'm not going to take it personally. I just want to try and provide more consistent video content and hopefully add some value to the Agile community. So I thought, why not tell you about some of my favorite books in regards to Agile, agility, business. There's a bit of coaching thrown in there as well. I should start off by saying I've got no real affiliation to any of the authors to these books. One person, which I'll mention, very kindly sent me a free copy of his. That was more of because I consider us to be friends. But yeah, this is just my opinion. These are some of my go-to books off the shelf. Take this with a pinch of salt. I'm just a bloke on the internet who's bored at home and wanted to record this. So, on with the books. Straight in with Measure What Matters. OKRs, the simple idea that drives 10x growth. OKRs, for those that don't know, stands for Objective and Key Results. This book, Measure What Matters, tells the story of the author of how he was inspired to create and bring OKRs to life from what he learned in his work life and the companies he has helped and how they implemented OKRs. So it does really tell the story from an historical point of view of the many companies. So as you can imagine, Google was one of the companies the author worked with, and it breaks OKRs down to what they really could be and how they really can help an organization. However, some of you in the Agile community may have noticed recently that OKRs are really flavor of the month. And what do I mean by that? Someone will read this book somewhere in the ivory tower, somewhere high up in the organization, and they'll start to implement OKRs. Now, the issue with that is not everyone else knows what you're talking about, mate. You might think that OKRs are absolutely fantastic, but you really need to help embed the knowledge of what you're asking for. And I suppose that doesn't really link solely to OKRs, and one could say the same for Agile. It's not the book's fault, it's not the author's fault, I should really say that, but it's a fantastic book if you want to learn how to harness what OKRs are and what they can be for your organisation. I suppose what I would say is just because you've read it and you've understood it, you sort of have the responsibility to let everyone else know what they are if you want to take them forward. Measure What Matters. Brilliant book. Double thumbs up from me. Applying Scrum with Kanban by Mr. Andy Hiles, straight out of Bristol. Love the can't get my teeth in tonight. Love the subtitle, A Pointless Book. There is Mr. Hiles there. So applying Scrum with Kanban. I'm not going to lie, Andy was very kind and was kind enough to give me a copy of this. He hasn't asked me to review it. He doesn't know I'm doing this. And I really want people to read and digest and invest in this book. If you have read something like The Phoenix Project, in which there's a real story to this individual, you buy into this person, you really want them to do well. I think, and again I don't know, Andy has very much tried to take an individual or inspiration of many people and try to put them in and try to bottle them up into this character who at the heart of it all is really trying to help their team in a complex environment. a lot of the scenarios in the book ring very true. I could see myself in this character. It made me hold up the mirror to myself and realise that I could have done things better, especially when it comes to trying to implement and incorporate things like work in progress limits, cumulative flow diagrams, Little's Law. Andy does a fantastic job of bringing this stuff to life from zero to, oh, actually, I understand that now and I can probably take it forward. So, Applying Scrum with Kanban by Andy Hiles also gets a double thumbs up from me. On to Fixing Your Scrum, Practical Solutions to Common Scrum Problems by Mr. Ryan Ripley and Mr. Todd Miller. Bit of a fanboy moment. If you haven't subscribed to their channel, Agile for Humans, and you haven't listened to their daily podcast, YouTube video, whatever you want to call it, Your Daily Scrum, then folks, you are absolutely missing out. If you have ever had a question regarding Scrum, Agile, Agility, why is the definition of done important? What does the product owner do on a daily basis? These two fellas have absolutely nailed it. I tip my digital hat to them both. Anyway, back to the book. Objectively, again, it does exactly what it says on the tin, right? Practical solutions to common Scrum problems. So I've just flicked to page 40, one product, many product backlogs. I'm sure, that's something I've definitely come across with in the past. It's something they categorically address in here. They have a coach's corner at the end of each chapter. Again, it's just one of those books you can go, I've got a question. It'll probably be in some regard. Obviously, there's some nuance, but you will probably see a lot of your answers in this book. But Scrum has too many meetings. We've all been there. Fixing Your Scrum, again, definitely one you can pull out from the bookshelf and go, that's probably going to help me out. On to book number 4 then, which is called The Advice Trap. Be humble, stay curious, and change the way you lead forever. It's by the best-selling author of The Coaching Habit. If you've read that, this is the follow-up. But I wouldn't say you have to have read it, because he does reiterate it. He does sort of give you a general background to the inside of his mind, and the 7 questions that are mentioned in the Coaching Habit are definitely mentioned in here. For me personally, I quite like the approach he takes in terms of, sometimes, again, many people may disagree with this, that coaching can be overcomplicated. It can be very formal. It can be only asking what questions. It can be, people think you have to take the coaching stance straight away, especially in the Agile coaching community. Agile coaching, there are many segments. Coaching is just one of them. So that's why I really like the actionable, is that a word? We'll go with it. Actionable approach that the author takes. And he's basically saying, a lot of the time, our advice isn't as good as we think it is. So we really need to practice our listening, our active listening, being present, holding back the advice monster inside us to help the person explain where they're trying to get to. Listen to it, and you know what? We may have some good advice in there, but let it come afterwards. Let it come after the person has actually explained what they need. So again, The Advice Trap would definitely get a double thumbs up from me. On to book number 5 of this video anyway, The Professional Product Owner, Leveraging Scrum as a Competitive Advantage. Now, I came across this book when I was starting to make some content around within organizations around what product ownership is and what a true product owner can be, both the benefits, you know, some of the challenges that come up. And this is part of the Scrum.org series. I don't think fixing your Scrum is part of that, but things like mastering professional Scrum. I mean, there's numerous of them. I'm not going to pretend I know what they are, but they're very much Scrum.org trainers. There's a foreword by Ken Schwaber. If you're if you're working in a Scrum environment and you're trying to harness Scrum, or your organization is trying to harness Scrum, then I am yet to find a more comprehensive book about product development within the Scrum context, about how we bring releases to life, prioritization as a product owner. It really goes beyond the theory of trying to get someone through, say, a professional product owner certification. If, like I said, this really does maximize the potential, and it really goes under the bonnet, if you like, of how Scrum can be practically used within your organization. So, like I said before, if you are in that environment, if you're a product owner, if you're a business analyst who more often than not end up playing a lot of the product owner accountability, if you're a Scrum Master who is trying to help a relatively new product owner, or someone who has the product owner title but they don't necessarily know what that means, then this would be my number one book to go to if you are in a Scrum environment and trying to specifically help product owners and help the organization understand what product development is. I can't sing the praises of this book enough. Last but not least for this video anyway, Sprint: Solve Big Problems and Test New Ideas in Just 5 Days by Jake Knapp. Now, Google Design Sprints can be a really powerful tool, but you really need to know where you're starting from. And this book details Monday to Friday in a very, very detailed way. I know the word playbook has a bit of a smell around it in our community, but in this context, I think it's really powerful, right? It tells you the stationery you need. It tells you it gives you step-by-step guidance and pictures of what you're trying to achieve in 5 days. But it also highlights that you're not trying to solve the world or the whole product problem in that 5 days. You're going narrow, you're going really niche. You invite 5 people at the end, and I think there's a stat that suggests, I'm sure someone will correct me, if you invite 5 people to a demonstration or to work on a prototype, or to have a go at a prototype that you've built within that 5 days, they will show you between, I think, 75 and 85% of the problems a wider pool of people will have. But it's a good place to start. Like I said, it's very detailed. It will give you step-by-step guidance of how to facilitate this design sprint. And it becomes very clear that if you're being asked to facilitate it, the organization once again needs to know what they're asking for. People need to commit to that whole 5 days to get the best out of it. So there you have it, folks. 6 of my favorite books reviewed in regards to Agile, business agility, or coaching, whatever that umbrella is. Let me know what you thought. If you'd like to see more of it, please do let me know. Thanks for watching. Give me a subscribe if you want to see more videos, or if you'd like to be in the know of when I upload more. And yeah, thank you for watching, folks. See you soon.